What she's doing is gaslighting. So, which sadly happens both ways, because I personally have only have one ex, and he did exactly that to me for a good 2 years, and it's been literally a life-changing experience. And I think what's really sad is that this is literally like, it doesn't matter what gender, there are good people out there who just, we were simple-minded people who just we were excited to meet someone who we thought we were going to be happy with. And these people they're so good at manipulating you. They love bomb you. They say you, oh my God, I love you, I want to have your kids. Like, you just fall for them. And when they have their claws in you, boom, they start coming in, and you're like, where does this come from?
I think girls like toxic men.
I agree.
Yeah. I think like there's something you're attracted to about it.
Do you know why?
Well, I think it's because like the same traits the hero has, the villain has too. So if a dude is very, like, they always say like, why does that girl stay with their girlfriend, or why does the girl stay with the boyfriend that beats her up? Well, it's because like that aggression that's in the hero is also in the villain.
You ask any girl when they say like they got a crush, a celebrity crush or something, I guarantee it's gonna be the villain in the movie. They like the bad guys. It's just.
Would it be okay if I just make the distinction and the reason why these girls are getting it wrong? Yes, women actually go look in a romance novel. Men like their corn, girls like the books. We look very differently. And you can go to a romance novel in a bookstore. You can see that girls tend to go for the hunky guys, the vampires, the bad boys, and they change them, right? It's all about changing them. Now, the important thing is that they are actually innately attracted. That's what I'm saying. Girls start off, the feminine energy does want the man, they want the masculine, but because they're jaded. And then they had to...
What do you mean because they're jaded? They want the masculine because they're jaded?
No, because I genuinely feel that I'll say this from personal experience. As a young girl, as well as remembered, like I have a very traditional family. My mother stayed at home, took care of the kids. My father was the breadwinner. For me, that is normal. That is what I saw myself, envisioned myself with. And sadly, because times have changed, my mom started saying, you can't just rely on a guy. You've got to also have your craft. You've got to have something to bring to the table. So I agreed. I said, yeah, of course. So I went out there. I spent the time on myself, and I really worked on myself, try to be a good a good society person in society. But the thing is, then in that journey, I became too masculine. Right, I overshot, and then I'm starting to give bro vibes. And then, of course, then these girls are asking, why am I not getting the masculine guy? Well, one, you're too masculine. I know that because I was there once. I had to teach myself. I had to remind myself that I need to tone it down. There are certain times where that's appropriate, such as when I'm in a more work situation and I have to be more decisive. But when I'm on a date... Well, I am different. I want a masculine man. Yeah. I actually looked at myself and I said, what do I want? Do I want a feminine man or do I want a masculine man?
Why do you think your mom encouraged you to be masculine? If it seemed to have worked out well for her, she got to provide her husband, and
it's very sad actually. We had this conversation and my mom said to me, she said, in my times, she said, guys just came up to me all the time. Now, I will say this, my mom's very feminine. She's like the damsel in distress. So she does attract guys anyways. But she was saying I would used to walk on the street and I will see great quality men everywhere. Like, I feel like I can just pick them off the street. They're all great. But I don't know. She said, I don't know what's going on. She was like, it makes me really sad, but I feel like guys are not as high caliber anymore. And I'm worried for my daughter. I'm scared that they're going to not be able to deal with themselves. And they don't have that person either. So to compensate, she's pushing me on the other direction of being self-sufficient. But the danger of that is that it was overshot.
I think that's a common problem now. So yeah, like you said, your mum's pushing you that way. Just to go back on your point that you made before, the fact that you realised you was too masculine, that is what men I think today are asking women to do. It's just, for me, I've got female friends that I've got boyfriends, and they ask me for advice, and I just tell them, look in the mirror. And I say, look in the mirror, and I'm not talking about look at your body, your face. I'm saying, look in the mirror and look at the person you're being. When you're going to restaurants, like, how are you trying to dominate the situation? When you go to a family gathering, you're trying to dominate, like, you have to let your man be a man. and
Exactly.
women find the problem with it.
Do you guys think there's a shortage of husbands or wives?
Depends on the
Wives.
location, I guess.
Wives?
Wives.
That's an interesting question. I'd say there's a shortage on husbands because men, like, it's just not worth it. Like any logical man, which most men, it's safe to say, are logical. I'd say it just doesn't make sense. Like it's
because they don't want to get married. That's what you're saying. Okay, what do you think? Shortage of husbands or wives?
Depends on where. As I said,
In the West.
I'm from
In the West. In the West. So this is England, U.S.
I'll be honest. I don't
need you to
know.
Pick one.
I would say men.
Shortage of husbands.
What do you think?
Wives.
And I'd like you to. So you sort of explained a little bit. You think it's because men don't want to get married.
Yeah. I don't think it's that men don't want to get married. Like I'd love to get married, but to the right woman that I know that wouldn't like just jack my shit. You know what I mean? Because I have very big plans for my future, and I'm not trying to risk it for no one. Because like, if a woman can marry me for a year and take everything that I've worked for over all these years and put every ounce of effort into, then like, as someone who wants to get into business, that does not seem like good business, you know? Like that sounds like a bad move.
So me, that's more of a point to why I think there's less wives. So I think traditionally and even currently, men court women. We go out and we try to find a woman. So if we can't find a woman, I think that's the problem now. It's like we're not making it blunt enough. Like men don't want to get married to the current women, and we have multiple reasons for that. Like, let's not talk about OnlyFans. Let's not talk about masculine women. Like, it's simple. Like, we just don't think women are good enough now for us to settle down and marry.
So, do you think that women don't think they're good enough for men, or men don't think they're good? Or do you think it's because I think that like women don't think men are good enough for them, even if they're average.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think because if you look in history, I think women dated and married average guys historically. Because
a question I ask on my show often is like, how much does your submission cost? And I say like to the point that like if he said quit your job tomorrow, be with the kids, you do it.
Yeah, I've seen you ask them for the salary number,
and they always say 6 figures, even if they're 5s.
Even though that's a percent, how much men in the world earn 6 figures?
Yeah, so then the next question is always, are you a top 10% girl?
And they say no. And
so it's like you have girls that are not top 10% asking for top 10% outcomes in order to submit.
I think the word submit bothers women. Just the word submit bothers them.
I think it gets misconstrued, to be honest. I think I've heard this before somewhere, I'm not sure where, but I heard that women tend to think submission means slavery. Like they think what the man says is just absolutely final without reason. You know what I mean? When submission really is just, it's not that you don't get a say in the matter. It's just that there's a leader and you're second in command. There's someone in primary command, but you're still in second in command. You know what I mean?
And you have a lot of influence too. As like because you can. I mean, every person knows like that couple that's like really cute. Where like even though the guy's in charge, like the woman's kind of in charge because she's just so feminine and kind of can get him to like see her point of view. You know, there's a couple that comes to your head, right?
Is that okay? I'm gonna give you an example. It's a little bit extreme, but you actually see the very clear. Actually, it's controversial if you think about it, but it's the healthiest relationships are from the BDSM community, and really? I will explain why.
Okay, because I need you to define healthy.
No. So
I need you to like if we're going to claim this.
The reason why I say it's healthy is in order to be able to be in that type of relationship, because it is so extreme to the point where sometimes there is a chance of death. Yeah, right. Because people engage in such extreme activities. You need extreme trust in order to get into it.
Is there any data that backs this up?
So the idea. No,
this just sounds like